do you do when your dream gets quiet? Not dead, not impossible, just delayed. Do you keep holding on exactly the same way? Or do you adjust without feeling like you betrayed yourself? Because that's where I am today. I'm 90 days into showing up publicly, documenting this journey in real time. And today I had to ask myself a hard question. Am I being flexible? Or am I slowly giving up on my overseas dream? If you've ever had to pivot while still trying to stay true to what God placed in your heart, this episode is for you. Hey y'all, welcome back to Ways of Change. This is day 90 of 100 days of showing up, posting every day, and documenting this season of transition, reinvention, and faith in motion. If you've been following the journey, thank you for being here. And if you're new, welcome. On this channel, I share my real life journey of navigating career shifts, mindset, purpose, wellness, and the process of building a new chapter one day at a time. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and come along with me. Today's update is this. I submitted an application for a Supervisory Program Specialist position with the Department of Veteran Affairs in San Antonio, Texas. Now, if you watched previous episodes, then you already know that San Antonio holds a special place in my heart. So today's application wasn't random. It wasn't just panic applying. It wasn't just me throwing spaghetti on a wall. It was me being honest enough to say, if the overseas market feels on hold right now, maybe I need to be open to another route and see what happens. I also completed my engagement hour on LinkedIn and posted about yesterday's episode about not everybody seeing your vision. And today's topic feels like the natural next question. Am I being flexible or am I giving up on my overseas dream? Let's talk about it. One of the hardest parts of having a dream is not having the full map. You can feel strongly that something is meant for you. You could pray about it. You could prepare for it. You could talk about it, work towards it, visualize it, and keep taking action. And still, it doesn't move as quickly as you hoped. That's the frustrating part no one talks about enough. Because when a dream is delayed, it starts messing with your head. You start wondering, did I hear God wrong? Am I forcing this? Is this still my path? Am I supposed to keep going? Or is it just time to redirect? And when it comes to this overseas dream, I've had moments where I feel so certain. I could see it, y'all. I could feel it. I still can. But lately, I've also had to sit with the reality that sometimes a dream can be real and still not be right now. That doesn't automatically mean the dream is over. It might just mean the route is changing. And I think that's where a lot of us struggle. We tend to think that if we change the plan, we must be abandoning the promise. But I don't think those are always the same thing. Let me say this plainly in case somebody else needs to hear it too. Flexibility is not failure. Being open is not the same as settling. Adjusting is not the same as quitting. And considering another opportunity doesn't automatically mean you've stopped believing in the bigger vision. Sometimes flexibility is wisdom. Sometimes flexibility is maturity. Sometimes it's what keeps you moving instead of getting stuck in disappointment. Here's the truth for me. If I keep saying I want change, I also have to be willing to recognize that change may not arrive in the packaging I expected. And maybe that's the lesson. Maybe the goal is not to control every detail of how the blessing shows up. Maybe the goal is to stay available to learn, available to pivot, available to receive, available to trust. That San Antonio application made me think deeply about that because I had to check in with myself and ask, Vanessa, are you betraying your dream? Or are you simply refusing to be rigid? There's a difference. Rigidity says it has to happen this exact way or it means nothing. Flexibility says I still honor the vision, but I'm willing to let God surprise me. That's a much healthier place to be, I think. Now let me talk specifically about San Antonio for a moment. If you notice in this episode, when I first talked about moving and changing and reinvention, I said that San Antonio had a special place in my heart, the Hill Country. It's not just some city on a job board for me. It holds memory. It holds familiarity. There are some places in life that feels like more than a location. They feel like a chapter, a reminder, a doorway. And for me, San Antonio has been one of those places. So when I saw this role, I didn't look at it as, well, I guess overseas isn't working. I looked at it more like, maybe this is worth exploring while I continue to stay open. That's a different energy. That's not defeat, that's discernment. And I think sometimes we shame ourselves for considering options. We act like if we have one big dream, then we're not allowed to explore anything else. But life doesn't always move in straight lines. Y'all know that. Sometimes one opportunity strengthens you for the next one. Sometimes what looks like a detour is actually preparation. Sometimes the thing you try for now becomes the bridge to what's next. And sometimes it simply reminds you that you still have choices. Now let's be real for a minute. Usually when we ask, am I being flexible or giving up? There's often fear underneath that question, right? The fear might sound like, what if I never get the overseas opportunity? What if time is passing? What if I have to create a meaningful life before the dream arrives? What if I need to stop waiting and start living more fully where I am now? That last one especially. Because sometimes we can hold a dream so tightly that we accidentally put our life on pause. And that's dangerous. I don't want to live like I'm only allowed joy once I get the final outcome. I don't want to make the mistake of saying, I'll be fully alive when I get there. I'll be at peace when they call. I'll relax when the dream is confirmed. No, I want to live now. I want to stay open now. I want to keep building now. And if that means considering San Antonio while still loving the vision of overseas, then maybe that's not compromise. Maybe that's balance. Maybe that's emotional maturity. Maybe that's what it looks like to keep your heart soft without becoming passive. I think giving up looks like this. I'm done believing. I'm done trying. It's never going to happen. So what's the point? I'm shrinking my life because disappointment got too loud. That's giving up. But flexibility sounds more like this. I'm still hopeful, but I'm no longer forcing one outcome. I'm still moving, even if the road looks different right now. I'm still open to what's meant for me. I'm still trusting that what is for me won't miss me. That's where I want to stay. Not cynical, not desperate, not closed off, just grounded. Because releasing control is not the same thing as releasing the dream. You get me? Sometimes it's actually the thing that protects the dream from becoming an idol. That's a word for me too, y'all. Because when we become too attached to one timeline, one place, one exact version of success, we can start missing the growth that's happening in the meantime. And there's growth in happening in the meantime. There is, in the discipline, in the applications, in the rejections even, in the waiting, in the daily showing up, in the willingness to keep going even when the outcome is unclear. That growth counts. Now our anchor scripture today is Proverbs 3. In all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your paths. I love this verse because it doesn't say acknowledge him and he will explain everything immediately. It says he will direct your paths. Paths, plural. That means there may be more than one step, more than one turn, more than one location, more than one season of becoming. And maybe that's the reminder I needed today. I don't have to know the entire path. I just need to keep acknowledging God as I walk it. If overseas is still a part of my future, then it will still be there. If San Antonio becomes a part of the story first, and then maybe that has purpose too. Either way, I don't have to panic. I just have to stay aligned. Y'all, day 90 is teaching me that dreams mature. When you first start dreaming, everything feels intense, urgent. You want immediate confirmation, immediate movement, immediate evidence. But after a while, if you keep walking with that dream long enough, it starts to refine you. It teaches patience. It teaches surrender. It teaches endurance. It teaches you how to keep hope without becoming consumed. And maybe that's what this season is doing for me. It's not just about whether I go overseas. It's about who I become while I pursue it. Will I become bitter? Will I become rigid? Will I become fearful? Will I become smaller? Or will I become wiser, steadier, more open, more trusting? That part matters too. Because the dream is not the only thing being built. I'm being built too. So, am I being flexible or am I giving up on my overseas dream? Today, my answer is this. I'm being flexible. I'm still open. I'm still hopeful. I'm still believing. But I'm also making room for life to meet me in ways I may not have expected. I applied for San Antonio today, y'all. I honored the movement. I stayed in motion. And I'm choosing not to make that mean something negative. Sometimes movement is movement. And sometimes the bravest thing you could do is remain faithful to the vision without becoming attached to one exact route. So if you're in a season where you're rethinking, adjusting, or exploring another path, that doesn't automatically mean you failed. It may simply mean you're learning how to walk by faith with open hands. And that's still courage, my friend. Thank you for being here with me for day 90 of this journey. If this episode spoke to you, drop a comment and let me know. Have you ever wrestled with whether you're being flexible or giving up on something you deeply wanted? And if you're watching and you're in your own season of waiting, pivoting, or recalibrating, just know you're not by yourself. Please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who may need the reminder that changing the route doesn't always mean abandoning the dream. I'm Vanessa, and this is Ways of Change. I'll see you tomorrow for day 91. Bye now.